Yeah, all right, we'll get started. So we're going to start with a little bit of mobility to get us going. So we're going to start with our spinal mobility. So we're going to start with some roll downs. So standing up nice and straight. I'm turning sideways just so you guys can see me a little bit better. And we're just going to tuck our chin to our chest. And then we're going to roll one vertebrae down at a time. Just as far as you can go, where you feel a little bit of slight pulling, maybe on your hamstrings. Take a deep breath at the bottom there. And then rolling back up nice and slowly. Once you're at the top, we're just going to do a nice big shoulder roll back. And then go again. So tuck your chin to your chest again. Rolling down. You might find that you can get a little bit further this time. Take another deep breath. Breathing out. And then rolling back up nice and slowly. And then shoulder roll back. And we're going to go one more time. Chin to chest. Rolling down. Deep breath. And then rolling back up. Good, and that shoulder roll back. This time we're going to get a little bit of a lateral stretch down the side of our body. So we're going to start with right hand by our leg. And as you slide your right hand down your leg, we're going to bring our left arm over and get a little bit of a stretch. You should feel it down your left kind of ribs area. Nice deep breath there. And then coming back. And we're going to swap to that other side. So left hand is going to slide down our leg, and our right arm's going to kind of paint a rainbow on the top of our head. Stretching our right side. Hold it there for just a few seconds, and then coming back. And we're just going to go one more time on each side. So sliding down. Left arm's coming over. Slowly coming back up. And last one on the left side. And coming back to neutral. Good. I'm going to turn it side one so you can see me, but we're going to do just a little bit of gentle back extension. So just to do this, we're just going to try and tip our hips forward and get a little bit of arch in our back. And then coming back up to neutral, really drawing that belly button back into your spine and tapping your hips. And then we're going to go same thing, keeping that core turned on, extending through our back. And then coming back. I'm going to try a little bit of rotation now. So to do that, we're going to start, try and keep our hips nice and still, and try and bring your right arm back, and try and look around over your shoulder, and just getting a little bit of twist through that torso there. And then we're going to come back to neutral and flow through to the left side. You look back over your shoulder, this might help you get that a little bit further. And then flowing back to the middle, through to the right side. Good, back to the middle, and last time on the left side. Good, all right, so our next one is called a bow and arrow stretch. So you're gonna have your left arm out straight. And then your right arm is going to kind of be in on your chest, kind of like as if you were about to hold a bow and arrow. And you're going to stretch your your bent elbow, so your right arm, you're going to slide it across your chest to your right shoulder. And then kind of slide it back in as if you released that arrow. And we're going to go again. Nice big stretch. Bringing it back to the middle. And then opening that chest up one more time. Back to the middle, and then we're going to swap hands. So right arm forward, left hand kind of on your chest. Open up as if you're about to really pull that arrow back. And then bringing it back in as if you've released the arrow. Catching through. Back in. And last one. Really push those shoulders down and back. And then bring it back in. Excellent work, guys. Just a couple of shoulder rolls forward and back. All right, we're going to look at a little bit of hip mobility now. So just standing nice and upright. And then we're going to take a left foot forward. Going into a little bit of a split stance. And then I'm just going to turn side on so you can see me. And what we're going to do is try and keep our back leg straight and push our hips forward so that you have a little bit of stretch in that back leg in your hip flexor. If you don't feel it too much like that, you can take a little bit of a larger step and try there. Remember, we don't want any pain in our stretches, so just try and bring it back if you are finding that you are getting a little too much discomfort. Just come out and stretch a little bit. And if you want a little bit more and you feel capable of dropping down onto one knee, you can do the same stretch in this position as well. So just a few different options there, depending on how comfortable you are and where you need to feel that stretch the most. And you should be feeling it through that hip on that side. So we'll swap legs now. We'll go right leg forward, left leg back. Trying to push that heel down to the ground, keeping that back leg straight. You can have a little bend in your front leg and just getting a little stretch now through our left hip flexor. Again, take a little bit of a larger step if you need more of a stretch. Or like I said before, you can drop down onto one knee and try and tip your hips forward, and you should feel a stretch through the front there as well. So just find the option that's most comfortable for you. All right, coming out of that, we're just going to go one more time on our other side. So left leg forward, right leg back. You might not feel as tight this time and might need to either take a little bit of a larger step, or if you would like to drop down. Good, and we're going to go one more on the other side. Right leg forward, left leg back. Really trying to push those hips. Tucking, as if you have a tail, try and tuck that tail between your legs. So that's the kind of movement of the hips that we want when I say tuck your hips. Good, and again, if you want to, you can drop down a little bit lower. Good. All right, our next one is going to be our adductors. So that's our inner thigh. To do that, we're going to go for a little bit of a wider stance this time. And leaning to our left side so that we feel a bit of a stretch through our right adductors. So you should bend your left leg a little bit. And your right leg should be relatively straight. Then come up out of that. We're just going to shift onto our right leg. So bending your right leg, getting the stretch through your left adductor. Good. All right, we're going to do one more time on each side. Down. To get a little lower if you're not feeling it now, just try and stick your bottom out so that you get a little bit more of a hinge at the hip. And then coming back up out of that one, we'll go on to the other side. And to help balance yourself, you might have to lean forward a little bit. Excellent work, guys. So next one is our hamstring stretch. So that's, we'll start with right foot forward, and we're going to slide down our right leg and try and hold that stretch there for a moment. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to engage this muscle. So to do that, try and dig your heel down into the ground, and you'll feel a little bit of tension on that right hamstring. Hold it for about 5 seconds, and we'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax that. So now stop digging your heel into the ground, and see if you can just go a little bit further in that stretch. And slowly rising up out of that one. We're going to switch now to our left side. So bring your left foot forward. Remember, toes pointing up to the roof. Sliding down. Once you feel that stretch, just hold it for a second. And now we're going to engage the muscle. So we're going to dig that heel into the ground. Try and switch on your hamstrings. And then relaxing, but holding the stretch still, and just seeing if you can go a little bit further. Good, and coming back up out of that stretch. All right, we're going to try it one more time on each side. So we're going back to the right leg. Right leg out in front. Of course, if anyone's finding this difficult standing, we can do it seated as well. So I'll just demonstrate a seated one, but everyone else who's comfortable standing can stay standing. So same thing, right leg out in front now, leaning forward, and then dig that heel into the ground to get that contraction through your hamstring. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relaxing there, seeing if you can hold that. Go into that stretch a little further than you did before. And then slowly coming back up out of that stretch. Good. Last one left on your left leg, straight out in front. And we're going to go down into the stretch, find that point of slight discomfort. Dig your heel down into the ground, switch on those hamstrings. And then relax your hamstrings and stop pushing down, and see if you can stretch a little bit further. And then slowly coming back up out of that. Perfect. Well done, guys. So that's our little mobility kind of warm up done and dusted. So we're going to move into some strength stuff now. Does anyone have any questions about any of those before we move on further? You do? Yeah, of course. Sorry, I'm just unmuting you. Oh, there we go. I should hear you now.
Okay, I'm just not feeling it in my hammies, but I'm really feeling it in my calves. So obviously I'm not doing it quite right.
Okay. In the hamstring stretch? If your calves are tight and your toes are pointing up, you will feel it in your calf, but you might just need to either lean forward a little bit more to get it in your hamstrings. So your hamstrings might not be as tight, and that's not a problem. So if you're not feeling the stretch necessarily, it doesn't mean that we need to go trying to search for it. It just might mean that you're not as tight in that area, and that a stretch for you might be a calf stretch. And we can definitely do that at the end after we've done some strength stuff.
Cool. Thank you.
No worries. Awesome. All right, we'll move into some strength stuff now, guys. So our first one is going to be our banded hinge. So if you wanted to all grab a resistance band, if you have it, and we're going to kind of place it underneath our feet. And so our hinge is, we're going to start with soft knees, so a slight bend in your knees, holding the resistance band in your head, and we're going to stick our bottom out towards the wall or whatever's behind you, keeping your back nice and straight. And then you're going to squeeze your glutes and stand up nice and straight. Perfect. And again, so your knee shouldn't really be bending any further than the slight bend. Just your bottom kind of going out, squeezing and standing up nice and straight. So you can be doing this without a band if you don't have a resistance band. We're going to go for 10 reps there. So I've done 3, 4, sticking your bottom out, squeezing and coming back up nice and straight. Good, perfect. Have a rest there, guys. Perfect. When you've done 10, of course, if you had a couple more to do, feel free to do them. Any questions about that movement there, guys? Could you all see me all right? Yep. Okay. We're going to move into a second set there. So going back to position, feet on the bench, bend into your hands. Just turning side on so that you guys can kind of see what my body's doing. Stay up nice and straight. Remember, draw that belly button towards your spine to activate our torso. And we're going to do soft bend in our knees, sticking your bottom back, and then standing up nice and straight. And really squeezing those glutes at the top. Down and up. Good, I've done 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Good work, guys. Well done. All right. We're going to move into a superset of upper body exercises. So for the first one, if you have a chair, just drag it over so that you can sit on the edge. We're going to do our seated row. So to do this, we're just going to have one foot out in front where we're going to put our band around our foot. And then we're going to sit up nice and straight. So you might have to sit on the edge of the chair a little bit for this one. But up nice and straight and drawing that your belly button into the spine to activate your trunk. And then you want to hold the band with straight arms, but you want a little bit of tension on the band as well. And then what we're going to do is kind of keep our elbows beside our body and pull the band towards our ribs, like we're rowing a boat, and then slowly forward. We're going to do 10 of those. 3, 4. So if you have your arms straight and there's no tension on the band, just wiggle your hands down a little bit so that when your arms are straight, there's a little bit of tension there. 9. One more there, guys. Good. And 10. Perfect. So our superset means that it's going to be paired with another exercise, and we're going to do our banded chest press. So if you want to pop your band around the back of your back, like so, you can all stay seated if you like with this one, but remembering our posture, making sure that we're sitting up nice and straight. And then you want to try and position your arms a little bit bent, but again, having some tension on the band. And then what we're going to do is kind of squeeze our chest muscles and bring our hands together and then back out. We're going to do 10 of those. Four. My band's rolling up, so just shuffle it back down again if you find that it's rolling. And 10. Good work, guys. Just doing 10, so if you have a couple more, feel free to do those. So we're going to go through a couple of sets of this. So I'm just going to hook this back around my foot for the next set of rows, if you guys would like to do the same. So just, you only need it really around one foot, and you can use the other foot to help stabilize you. Again, making sure posture's up nice and straight, drawing that belly button into your spine, because everything that we do, we need to activate our core. And then nice deep breath in, pulling the weight, and breathing out as you let your arms back out straight. Try and keep your shoulders down. Sometimes we have a tendency to lift our shoulders up towards our ears as we're pulling, but we want to try and keep our shoulders nice and relaxed. It should be just our elbows kind of coming backwards and our shoulder blades squeezing together at the back. Good. I've got 2 more left. Excellent. And last one. Nice work, guys. We're going to hook the band back around the back of our back. Just in a position where it won't roll up or roll down at our back. Again, slight bend in your elbows, but tension on your TheraBand or resistance band still. And we're going to go for 10 chest press again. Squeeze together, bring your hands together. And slowly back out. So with these resistance bands, we want to try and not let the band pull us back. We want to keep it nice, slow, and controlled. Remember, sitting upright, still, draw that belly button in. Last one for 10. Good. All right, we're going to do one more round of those. So just back around our foot again. Remember, straight arms and a bit of tension on the bend. Up nice and straight. Shoulders back and down. And then let's pull that band towards our ribs. And slowly back out. Roll. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice work, guys. One more time around the back of our back. Work our chest muscles. Again, a little bit of tension on the band still. Of course, if you're finding it too easy, add extra tension to the band by moving your hands down. And we're going to squeeze together. Back out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Good. All right, we're gonna have a little rest there. Feel free to grab a drink of water if you'd like. Just gonna relax our muscles for a second. Any questions about those exercises, guys? No? All good, perfect. We're going to move into a lower body one now. So we're going to use our chair again. And this time we're going to wrap our band around our feet again, and we're going to stand on it, sorry. Stand on it and then have it by our body, still holding onto the band. We're going to do our sit to stance. So that's going to look like, so probably not too much tension on the band by our hands to start off with, because as we stand up, that tension is going to increase. And then we're going to slowly lower our body back down to the chair. Trying not to flunk down, but try and make it as controlled as possible. And then standing back up. I'm going to do 10 of those. 5, draw that belly button into your spine still. We want to have our core engaged to protect our lower back. 8, 9, and one more for 10. Good. Excellent work, guys. Now we're going to partner that one with a split squat. So if you just stand up for me, if that's okay. And this time we're going to have the band only under one foot, which being our front foot. And we're going to go into a bit of a split stance like we did for our hip flexor stretch. This time you can be up on your toes on the back foot and having your hands in the bands as well. A little bit of tension on them this time. And what we're going to do is just bend our back knee straight down to the ground, just as long as you feel comfortable so that you can kind of push yourself back up. We're going to do 10 on that side. Seven, 8, 9, and 10. We're going to swap over now to our other side. So putting your right leg out in front, bend under your leg, left leg back. Oh, that's how it is for me. Remember, up until your ball of your foot for that back leg. And then you're going to slowly bend that knee down. 7. Remember to keep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. 10. Once you've done 10, just have a little rest. Give our muscles a second. Just shake out your body, shake out your legs. Is everyone's legs feeling all right after those ones? You can just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Perfect. We won't get going straight away, but we'll get set up for our sit to stands again. So just taking a seat and getting the band ready under both our feet. And then just making sure that the band is straight when it's down beside you and there's no slack in the band. All right, we might get started on our next sort of sit to stand. So remember, big push up through your heels, standing, and then slowly back down and controlled into the chair. Six. We want to be watching our knees, making sure that they're not coming in too close together and that they're staying out and following the path of our toes. 9, 8. I've got 2 left. 9 and 10. Nice work, guys. Just stepping off that band. We're going to go back to standing. I'm going to pop our band under our lead leg. So I started with my left leg. Put tension on that band and shooting our right leg back and up on our ball of our foot of our back leg. And then we're going to drop that knee straight down to the ground and come back up. 3, 10 of those again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Once you've done 10, just swapping over to the other side. Shooting the opposite leg back up on the ball of your feet, and let's go for 10 again on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good work, guys. Grab a little sip of water if you're feeling a little pumped, and then we'll move into our last round of those exercises. So we'll have a short rest, about 30 seconds, and then we'll get going again. All right, so when you're all feeling ready to go, we're just going to stand 2 feet on our band again. Hands by our side, making sure that there's no slack in our band. Perfect, and then we're going to get started. So let's go for our last round of 10 sit-to stands. So standing. Of course, if it's feeling a little too challenging with the band now, you can of course do this with the band. Eight, 9, and 10. Just carefully stepping up the band. We're going to move into our last round of the split squats. So lead leg, I'm starting with my left leg. Right leg back, up on the ball of your foot. We're going to go 10 from this position, dropping that back leg down to the ground. Not all the way, but just towards it. 7, 8, 9, 10. Once you've done 10, swapping over so we can do the other side. Good. Once you're all set up, go for our last 10 on this leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice work, guys. Have a little rest there. Shake it out, shake your legs. If you need to do any of the stretches we did at the start, like our Inductors stretch, we can do a couple more of those. Just nice gentle flows. Or if the hip flexor one is more appropriate for you, you can do that one. Skipping sides. We're going to go a couple of rounds now of just one more upper body one. It just focuses on our back, so it helps us with our posture. And we just need our band in our hands. And to set up, you want to pop your arms out straight. And then you want to make sure that your band is straight as well. So making sure that it's not sagging in the middle. From this position, we're going to try and pull the band apart, just as far as you can go, and slowly back in together. Remembering, trying not to lift your shoulders up towards your ears. We want to try and keep our shoulders relaxed, so push them down. Really try and bring those shoulder blades back together. When you stretch the band out, shoulder blades together, slow and controlled back in. Eight, 9, and one more. Good. Relaxing there. A few shoulder rolls for me. A few backwards and a few forwards. Good. Perfect. Shake out our arms. We're going to do one more set of 12 there. So, there, arms straight out again. Remembering having a straight band, not a saggy band. And we're going to pull our band apart, slowly back together. Or left. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good, relaxing day. Pop your bands down. We'll do a few more shoulder rolls. Few forward, few back. We might just do an upper body stretch. So if you want to bring your left arm across your body, and then use your right arm to pull underneath and pull that left arm towards your body. You should feel a little bit of stretch through your shoulder there. Good, and coming back down, we're going to do it on the other side. So right arm across your body, left arm kind of pulling it in towards you. Good. Next one we're going to do is just try and bring your hands around the back of your body. And I want you to kind of pull your hands down and pull your shoulders back. A little bit of a chest stretch. Good. Relaxing there. And we're going to do a little bit of neck stretching now. So if you just wanted to take one ear towards your shoulder, you should feel the stretch on that left or whatever side, opposite side towards your bending. It's nice and gentle with our neck stretches. Now we're going to flow over to the other side. Okay, it's coming back to the middle. We're going to go chin to chest. Get a stretch down the back of our neck. Good, and flowing now, looking up towards the roof, getting a stretch under our chin. Good, coming back to the middle. Now, I'll just show you a calf stretch for anyone who's feeling tight in the calves. So you can use the back of your chair if you have a chair that has like a high back. Otherwise, you can use the wall and do the same thing, pushing against the wall. But what you're going to do is put one leg back, and we're going to try and push your heel down towards the ground. And if you can't quite reach the ground, maybe just step your leg in a little bit and making sure that your heel can reach the ground. And you should feel a stretch down that back calf muscle. Just trying to hold that for about 15 seconds. And then we're going to come up and swap legs. Alternatively, if you don't have a wall nearby, but you do have a step somewhere in your house, later on during the day, you can put your toe on the edge of the step and then drop your heels down off the edge, and you should feel it while holding on tummy, and you should feel a little stretch there as well. All right. So that's us all done for today. Anyone have any questions or anything you would like to ask me? Point in time. I think that might have been the last one, last session. I did have a question on Monday. I don't know if anyone was in my Monday class, but someone did ask about classes going forward. So nothing has been organized at this point in time with us. So if you were interested in more classes or more access to classes like recordings or something, the best thing to do is probably reach out to Be in Multi and express your interest about wanting more exercise resources or potentially more classes, and then they should reach out to us and hopefully organize something for you guys.